Hello everyone. Am I audible to you all? Yes. Welcome to Let's Crack UPSC CSE English. In today's session, we'll learn about remaining part of state legislature. Yes, friends. In this session, we'll learn about remaining provisions related to the state legislature. So, as we have covered a few topics of state legislature in yesterday's session, yes. So, friends, it's my pleasure to welcome you all on Unacademy, India's largest learning platform, where you will get unlimited access for live and recorded classes, daily lectures, structured courses, and live tests. It's me, Rushikesh Inamdar, guiding UPSC aspirants from last 8 years. You can follow me on Unacademy, and also you can join our Telegram group using this link. Yes. Now again, it's a surprise to all aspirants. Unacademy is providing study material in hard copy. Yes. So these 20 books are absolutely free with minimum 1 year subscription. So if you will opt for 1 year, 2 year or 3 year subscription, you will get these 20 books absolutely free. And now this offer is extended by the request from number of candidates, and now it's available till 20th April. Yes, we have mega subscription offer in which if you will opt for 1 year subscription, you will get guaranteed till validity of your subscription plan for 1 year till next preliminary examination, that is preliminary examination 2022. And if you'll go with 2 year plan, then you will get validity till prelims 2023. Yes, this offer also valid till 20th April, and do not forget to use code RBI Life. Yes, friends, those aspirants are pursuing their graduation or after their 12th examination, they are planning to start their preparation for civil services. They can opt for iconic subscription. Yes, in this our subscription, you will get all the features of our plus courses along with personal guidance, expert guidelines, study planners, and many more. Yes, these are the paid courses available on our platform, plus an iconic subscription where you'll get 10% discount after using referral code RBI Life. Yes, and also you are eligible to get 10% discount on your optional subscription as well. This is combo subscription available for general studies and optional subject. Here options for 1 year, 2 year and 3 year subscription. Here also you will eligible to get 10% discount after using referral code RBI Life. Yes. So friends, here is the opportunity to aspirants, those looking for financial assistance in the form of loan. So Unacademy will help you for the loan for your course. So just use this link and submit the form for this loan process. Those aspirants are looking for any type of financial difficulties to opt our courses. Yes, we have free test series So you can opt for that, where we will cover complete general studies and current affairs. So friends, we'll start today's session with state legislature. Yes. So as we have covered the provisions related to membership, qualification, disqualification in our last session, now today we'll see further provisions of state legislature. Yes, I hope everyone is now clear with the concept of bicameral and unicameral houses. Yes, bicameral or unicameral system of state legislature. Now, today we'll see presiding officers of the state legislature. Yes, presiding officers. Yes, friends. Now, each house of state legislature has its own presiding officer. Yes. So, there is a speaker and deputy speaker. Yes, speaker and deputy speaker for the legislative assembly, and chairman and deputy chairman for the legislative council. Yes. So, each house of state legislature has its own presiding officer. Like for the legislative assembly, speaker and deputy speaker, whereas legislative council, chairman and deputy chairman. Yes. So, a panel of chairman for the assembly and panel of vice chairman for the council is also appointed. Yes. So, a panel of chairman for the assembly and a panel of vice chairman for the council is also appointed at the state legislature. Now, first we'll see speaker of assembly. Yes, the speaker is elected by the assembly itself from amongst its members. Yes. So, usually the speaker remains in office during the life of the assembly. Yes. However, he vacates his office earlier in the following three cases. For example, if he ceases to be a member of the assembly, yes. Then, if he resigns by writing to the deputy speaker, if he removed by a resolution passed by a majority of all, then the members of the assembly, and such a resolution can be moved only after giving 14 days advance notice. Yes, so usually the speaker of assembly remains in office during the life of the assembly. Yes. Now after that we'll see the powers and duties of Speaker of State Legislature, that is Legislative Assembly. Yes, he maintains order and decorum in the assembly for conducting its business and regulating its proceedings. Yes, this is his primary responsibility, and he has final power in this regard. Yes, he is the final interpreter of the provision of the Constitution of India, the rules of procedure and conduct of business of assembly, and the legislative precedents within the assembly. Yes, he adjourns the assembly or suspend the meeting in the absence of a quorum. Yes. So, he does not vote in the first instance, but he can exercise a casting vote in the case of a tie. Yes. So, Speaker of the Assembly maintains order and decorum to conduct its business and regulating its proceedings. He is the final interpreter of the provisions of the Constitution of India, the rules of procedure and conduct of business of assembly, and the legislative proceedings within the assembly. Yes, Speaker adjourns the assembly or suspend the meeting in the absence of a quorum. Yes. He does not vote in the first instance, but he can exercise a casting vote in the case of a tie situation in the assembly. Yes. He can allow a secret sitting of the house at the request of the leader of the house. He decides whether a bill is a money bill or not, and his decision on this question is final. Yes. He decides the questions of disqualification of a member of the assembly arising on the ground of defection under the provisions of the 10th schedule. Yes. So he appoints the chairman of all the committees of the assembly and supervises their functioning. He himself is the chairman of the business advisory committee, the rules committee, and the general purpose committee. Yes. After that, now we'll see the role of Deputy Speaker of Assembly. Yes, like the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker is also elected by the Assembly itself from among its members. He is elected after the election of the Speaker has taken place. Yes, like the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker remains in office usually during the life of the Assembly. However, he also vacates his office earlier in few cases, like if he ceases to be a member of the Assembly, if he resigns by writing to the Speaker, if he is removed by a resolution passed by a majority of all the then members of the Assembly. So such a resolution can be moved only after giving 14 days advance notice. Yes. So the Deputy Speaker performs the duties of Speaker's office when it is vacant. Yes, he also acts as the Speaker when the latter is absent from the sitting of assembly. In both the cases, he has all the powers of the speaker. Yes, the speaker nominates from among the members a panel of chairmen. Yes. So, the speaker nominates from among the members a panel of chairmen. Any one of them can preside over the assembly in the absence of the speaker or the deputy speaker. Yes. Then he is the same powers as the speakers when so presiding, and deputy speaker holds office until a new panel of chairmen is nominated. Yes. Then chairman of council. After the assembly, we'll see the presiding officer of council, that is chairman of council. So the chairman is elected by the council itself from among its members. The chairman vacates his office in any of the following three cases, like if he ceases to be a member of the council, if he resigns by writing to the deputy chairman, if he is removed by a resolution passed by a majority of all the then members of the council, and such a resolution can be moved only after giving 14 days advance notice. Yes. So as a presiding officer, the powers and functions of the chairman in the council are similar to those of speaker in the assembly. However, the speaker has one special power which is not enjoyed by the chairman. So the speaker decides whether a bill is a money bill or not, and his decision on this question is final. Yes. So the decision related to money bill is the one of the special power which enjoyed by the speaker of the legislative assembly. Yes. The salaries and allowances. So the salaries and allowances of the speaker and the deputy speaker of the assembly and the chairman and deputy chairman of the council are fixed by the state legislature. Yes, they are charged on the consolidated fund of the state and thus are not subject to the annual vote of the state legislature. Yes. So, after that we'll see deputy chairman of council. Like the chairman, the deputy chairman is also elected by the council itself from among its members. The deputy chairman vacates his office in any of the following three cases: if he ceases to be a member of the council, if he resigns by writing to the chairman, if he is removed by a resolution passed by a majority of all the then members of the council, and such a resolution can be moved only after giving 14 days advance notice. Yes. So, the deputy chairman performs the duties of the chairman's office when it is vacant. He is also act as the chairman when the latter is absent from the sitting of the council. In both the cases, he has all the powers of chairman. So, the chairman nominates from among the members a panel of vice chairmen. Any of them can preside over the council in the absence of the chairman or the deputy chairman, and he has the same powers as the chairman when so presiding, and he holds office until a new panel of vice chairman is nominated. Yes, now after the presiding officers, we'll see sessions of state legislature. Yes, the governor from time to time summons each house of state legislature to meet. The maximum gap between two sessions of state legislature cannot be more than 6 months. That is, the state legislature should meet at least twice a year. A session of the state legislature consists of many sittings. Yes. Then adjournment. So an adjournment suspends the work in sitting for a specified time, which may be hours, days, or weeks. So adjournment sine die means terminating a sitting of the state legislature for an indefinite period, and the power of the adjournment as well as adjournment sine die lies with the presiding officer of the house. Yes, prorogation. Next is prorogation. So the presiding officer, speaker or chairman declares the house adjourned sine die when the business of the session is completed. Within the next few days, the governor issues a notification for prorogation of the session, and however, the governor can also prorogate the house which is in session, and unlike an adjournment, a prorogation terminates a session of the house. Yes. Dissolution. So, the Legislative Council being a permanent house is not subject to dissolution, and only the Legislative Assembly is subject to dissolution. So, unlike a prorogation, a dissolution ends the very life of the existing house, and the new house is constituted after the general elections are held. So, the position with respect to lapsing of bills on the dissolution of the assembly is mentioned below, like a bill pending in the assembly which lapses whether originating in the assembly or transmitted to it by the council, a bill passed by the assembly but pending in the council which lapses, a bill pending in the council but not passed by the assembly which does not lapse, a bill passed by the assembly or passed by both the houses but pending assent of the governor or the president does not lapse, a bill passed by the assembly or passed both the houses but written by the president for reconsideration of house or houses does not lapse. Yes, so this is the dissolution and the position with respect to lapsing of bills. After that, we'll see quorum. Yes, quorum is the minimum number of members required to be present in the house before it can transact any business. It is 10 members or 1/10 of the total number of members of the house, whichever is greater. Yes, if there is no quorum during a meeting of the house, it is the duty of the presiding officer either to adjourn the house or to suspend the meeting until there is a quorum. Yes. Now, voting in house. So all matters at any sitting of either house are decided by a majority of votes of the members present and voting excluding the presiding officer. Only a few matters which are specifically mentioned in the constitution, like removal of the speaker of the assembly, removal of the chairman of the council, and so on, require special majority, not ordinary majority. The presiding officer does not vote in the first instance but exercises a casting vote in the case of an equality of votes. Yes. Then language in state legislature. The constitution has declared the official languages of the state. Yes. Hindi or English are to be languages for transacting business in the state legislature. So, however, the presiding officer can permit a member to address the house in his mother tongue. Yes. The state legislature is authorized to decide whether to continue or discontinue English as a floor language after the completion of 15 years from the commencement of the constitution. Yes. So in case of Himachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya and Tripura, this time or this time limit is 25 years, and that of Arunachal Pradesh, Goa and Mizoram, it is 40 years. Yes. So this is the language in the state legislature. Now after that we'll see rights of ministers and advocate general. So in addition to the member of a house, every minister and the advocate general of the state have the right to speak and take part in proceedings of either house of any of its committees of which he named a member without being entitled to vote. There are two reasons underlined in this constitutional provision. Yes, a minister can participate in the proceedings of a house of which he is not a member. A minister who is not a member of either house can participate in the proceedings of both the houses. Yes, so in this case, a person can remain a minister for 6 months without being a member of either house of the state legislature. Yes. Now we'll see the legislative procedure in state legislature. So first, ordinary bills. Yes. Bill in the originating house. So an ordinary bill can originate in either house of the state legislature. Yes. So such a bill can be introduced either by a minister or by any other member. So the bill passes through 3 stages in the originating house: first reading, second reading and third reading. Yes. So after the bill is passed by the originating house, it is transmitted to the second house for consideration and passage. A bill is deemed to have been passed by the state legislature only when both the houses have agreed to it, either with or without amendments. Yes, in case of a unicameral legislature, a bill passed by the Legislative Assembly is sent directly to the governor for his assent. Yes. bill in the second house. Now, in the second house also, the bill passes through all three stages, that is first reading, second reading and third reading. And when a bill passed by Legislative Assembly and transmitted to the Legislative Council, the letter has 4 alternatives before it. Yes, so the second house may pass the bill as sent by the Assembly without amendments. It may pass the bill with amendments and return it to the Assembly for reconsideration. It may reject the bill altogether. It may not take any action and thus keep the bill pending. Yes, if the council passes the bill without amendments or the assembly accepts the amendments suggested by the council, the bill is deemed to have been passed by both the houses and the same is sent to the governor for his assent. Yes. So, on the other hand, if the assembly rejects the amendment suggested by the council or the council rejects the bill altogether or the council does not take any action for 3 months, then the assembly may pass the bill again and transmit the same to the council. Yes. If the council rejects the bill again or passes the bill with amendments not acceptable to the assembly or does not pass the bill within 1 month, then the bill is deemed to have been passed by both the houses in the form in which it was passed by the assembly for the second time. Yes. So therefore, the ultimate power of passing an ordinary bill is vested in the assembly. So at the most, the council can detain or delay the bill for a period of 4 months, 3 months in the first instance and 1 month in the second instance. So the constitution does not provide the mechanism of joint sitting of both the houses to resolve the disagreement between the two houses over a bill. On the other hand, there is provision for a joint sitting of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha to resolve a disagreement between the two over an ordinary bill. Yes, see this is the major difference between state legislature and parliament. So, moreover, when a bill which has originated in the council and was sent to the assembly is rejected by the assembly, the bill ends and becomes dead. Yes, thus, the council has been given much lesser significance, position and authority than that of the Rajya Sabha at the center. Yes. So, now, assent of the governor. Yes. So, every bill after it is passed by the assembly or by the both houses in case of bicameral legislature is presented to the governor for his assent. And there are 4 alternatives before the governor in regard to that bill. He may give his assent to the bill, or he may withhold his assent to the bill. He may return the bill for reconsideration of the house or houses, and he may reserve the bill for the consideration of the president. Yes. So, if the governor gives his assent to the bill becomes an act and is placed on the statute book. Yes, if the governor withholds his assent to the bill ends and does not become an act. If the governor returns the bill for reconsideration, and if the bill is passed by the House or both the houses again, with or without amendments, and presented to the governor for his assent, then the governor must give his assent to the bill. Yes. Now, so thus the governor enjoys only a suspensive veto. Yes, veto. Sorry. The governor enjoys only a suspensive veto, and the position is same at the central level also. Yes. Then assent of the president. So when a bill is reserved by the governor for the consideration of the president may either give his assent to the bill or withhold his assent to the bill, or retain the bill for reconsideration of the House or houses of the state legislature. Yes, when a bill is so written, the House or houses have to reconsider it within a period of 6 months. Yes, the bill is presented again to the presidential assent after it is passed by the House or houses with or without amendments. So it is not mentioned in the Constitution whether it is obligatory on the part of the president to give his assent to such bill or not. Yes. So this is the assent of the president. Yes, friends. Unacademy is providing free test series for all aspirants where we will cover your complete general studies and current affairs. Just you have to unlock these tests using code RBI Live. Yes, these are the new batches started for UPSC CSE. So we have 1 year batch, 2 year batches, NCRT batches. We have Hindi English medium and bilingual batches as well. Yes, and also friends, do not forget to enroll yourself for Unacademy Combat. So next combat is on 18th of April in the morning 11 am. So upcoming Sunday 11 am we have next Unacademy Combat. So the combat is available now in Hindi medium also. So friends, you can enroll for Unacademy Combat with using code RBI Live. Yes friends. So let's continue with our topic. So now money bill. Yes. So the Constitution lays down a special procedure for the passing of money bills in the state legislature. So a money bill cannot be introduced in the legislative council. Yes, now just remember friends, a money bill cannot be introduced in the legislative council. Yes, it can be introduced in the legislative assembly only. Yes, so money bills can be introduced in the Legislative Assembly only. Yes. So, and that too on the recommendation of the governor. So, every such bill is considered to be a government bill and can be introduced only by a minister. Yes. So, after the recommendation or with the permission of the governor, the money bill is introduced in the Legislative Assembly by a minister. After a money bill is passed by the Legislative Assembly, it is transmitted to the Legislative Council for its consideration. So the Legislative Council has restricted powers with regard to a money bill, and it cannot reject or amend a money bill, and it can only make recommendations and must return the bill to the Legislative Assembly within 14 days, and the Legislative Assembly can either accept or reject all or any of the recommendations of the Legislative Council. Yes, so if the Legislative Assembly accepts any recommendation, the bill is deemed to have been passed by both the houses in the modified form, and if the Legislative Assembly does not accept any recommendation, the bill is then deemed to have been passed by both the houses in the form of originally passed by the Legislative Assembly without any change. So, if the Legislative Council does not return the bill to the Legislative Assembly within 14 days, then the bill is deemed to have been passed by both houses at the expiry of the said period in the form of originally passed by the Legislative Assembly, and thus the Legislative Assembly has more powers than Legislative Council with regard to a money bill. Yes. So at the most, the Legislative Council can detain or delay a money bill for a period of 14 days maximum. Yes. Now, and finally, when a money bill is presented to the governor, he may either give his assent, withhold his assent, or reserve the bill for presidential assent, but cannot retain the bill for reconsideration of the state legislature. And normally the governor gives his assent to a money bill as it is introduced in the state legislature with his prior permission. Yes. So when a money bill is reserved for consideration of the president may either give his assent to the bill or withhold his assent to the bill but cannot retain the bill for reconsideration of the state legislature. Yes. Then, position of Legislative Council. Yes, the constitutional position of the Council can be studied from two angles. One is sphere where Council is equal to Assembly, and sphere where Council is unequal to Assembly. So first we'll see equal with Assembly. So in the following matters, the powers and status of the Council are broadly equal to that of the Assembly, where introduction and passage of ordinary bills. However, in case of disagreement between the two houses, the will of the Assembly which prevails over that of the Council. Yes, the Council cannot amend or reject a money bill. It should return the bill to the Assembly within 14 days, either with recommendations or without recommendations. Third, the Assembly can either accept or reject all or any of the recommendation of the Council. So in both the cases, the money bill is deemed to have been passed by the two houses? Yes, the final power to decide whether a particular bill is a money bill or not is vested in the Speaker of the Assembly. Yes. Then, the final power of passing an ordinary bill also lies with Assembly, and at the most, the Council can detain or delay the bill for the period of 4 months to 3 months in the first instance and 1 month in the second instance. So in other words, the council is not even a revising body like the Rajya Sabha. So it is only dilatory chamber or an advisory body. Yes. So the council can only discuss the budget and cannot vote on the demands of grants. Yes, the council cannot remove the Council of Ministers by passing a no confidence motion. So this is because the Council of Ministers is collectively responsible to the Assembly. Yes. But the Council can discuss and criticize the policies and activities of the government. Yes. So when an ordinary bill which has originated in the Council and was sent to the Assembly is rejected by the Assembly and the bill ends and becomes dead. Yes, the Council does not participate in the election of the President of India and representative of the state in the Rajya Sabha. Yes. So the council has no effective say in the ratification of a constitutional amendment bill. And in this respect also, the will of the assembly prevails over that of the council. And finally, the very existence of the council, which depends on the will of the assembly, and the council can be abolished by the parliament on the recommendation of the assembly. Yes. Yes. So from the above, it is clear that the position of the council, vice versa, the assembly is much weaker than the position of the Rajya Sabha, vice versa, the Lok Sabha. So the Rajya Sabha has equal powers with the Lok Sabha in all spheres except financial matters and with regard to the control over the government. So on the other hand, the council is subordinate to the assembly in all respects. Thus, the predominance of assembly over the council is fully established. Yes. So, even though both the council and the Rajya Sabha are second chambers, the constitution has given the council much lesser importance than Rajya Sabha due to few reasons, like the Rajya Sabha consists of the representative of the states and thus reflect the federal element of the polity. Yes, Rajya Sabha maintains the federal equilibrium by protecting the interest of the states against the undue interference of the center, and therefore it has to be an effective revising body and not just an advisory body, auditory body like that of the council. Yes, on the other hand, the issue of federal significance does not arise in the case of a council. Yes, the legislative council is heterogeneously constituted. It represents different interests and consists of differently elected members and also include some nominated members. Yes, the legislative council, its very composition makes its position weak and reduces its utility as an effective revising body. And on the other hand, the Rajya Sabha is homogeneously constituted and it represents only the states and consists of mainly elected members. Yes, only 12 out of 250. Yes, only 12 out of 250 are nominated. Yes. So, the position according to the council is in accordance with the principle of democracy, and the council should yield to the assembly, which is a popular house. And this pattern of relationship between the two houses of the state legislature is adopted from the British model. Yes, so in Britain, the House of Lords, that is upper house, cannot oppose and obstruct the House of Commons, that is lower house. So the House of Lords is only a dilatory chamber. It can delay an ordinary bill for a maximum period of 1 year and a money bill for 1 month in the context of British or the Britain. Yes, so keeping in view its weak, powerless and insignificant position and role, the critics have described the council as a secondary chamber, costly ornamental luxury, white elephant, etc. So the critics have opined that the council has served as a refuge for those who are defeated in the assembly elections, and it enabled the unpopular, rejected and ambitious politicians to occupy the post of a chief minister or a minister or a member of the state legislature. Yes, so even though the council has been given less powers as compared with the assembly, its utility is supported on the following grounds, like it checks the hasty, defective, careless and ill consideration legislation made by the assembly by making provisions for revision and thought. Yes, provision for revision and thought. It facilitates representation of eminent professionals and experts, yes, who cannot face direct elections. So the governor nominates 1/6 the members of the council to provide represent to such people. Yes. Now we'll see the privileges of state legislature. Yes. So the privilege of a state legislature are a sum of special rights, immunities and exemptions enjoyed by the House of State Legislature. So their committees and their members, yes, they are necessary in order to secure the independence and effectiveness of their actions. So without these privileges, the houses can neither maintain their authority, dignity, and honor, nor can protect their members from any obstruction in the discharge of their legislative responsibilities. Yes, the Constitution has also extended the privileges of the state legislature to those persons who are entitled to speak and take part in the proceedings of a house of the state legislature or any of its committees. Yes, these include Advocate General of the state and state ministers, yes. So it must be clarified here that the privileges of the state legislation do not extend to the governor, who is also an integral part of the state legislature. And the privileges of state legislature can be classified into two broad categories, like yes. So those that enjoyed each of the House state legislature collectively, and those that are enjoyed the members individually. Yes, collective and individual. So first we'll see collective privileges of state legislature. Yes, so it has the right to publish its reports, debates, and proceedings, and also the right to prohibit others from publishing the same. Yes, the 44th Amendment Act 1978 restored the freedom of the press to publish true reports of state legislature without its prior permission. But this is not applicable in the case of a secret sittings of the House. Yes, as a collective privileges, it can exclude strangers from its proceedings and hold secret sittings to discuss some important matters. Yes, it can make rules to regulate its own procedure and the conduct of its business and to adjudicate upon such matters. Yes, it can punish members as well as outsiders for breach of its privileges or its contempt by reprimand, admonition, or imprisonment. Yes, it has the right to receive immediate information of the arrest, detention, conviction, imprisonment, and release of a member. It can institute inquiries and order the attendance of witness and send to relevant papers and records. Yes, the courts are prohibited to inquire into the proceedings of a house or its committees. Yes, no person can be arrested and no legal process can be served within the precincts of the house without the permission of the presiding officer. Yes, these are the collective privileges. Now we'll see individual privileges Yes. So, they cannot be arrested during the session of the state legislature. Yes, the privileges belong to the members individually are. Members cannot be arrested during the session of the state legislature and 40 days before the beginning and 40 days after the end of such session. Yes, this privilege is available only in civil cases. So this privilege is not available in criminal cases or preventive detention cases. Yes, they have freedom of speech. In the state legislature, no member is liable to any proceedings in any court for anything said or any vote given by him in the state legislature or its committees. This freedom is subject to the provision of the Constitution and to the rules and standing orders regulating the procedure of the state legislature. So Article 211 of the Constitution, which says that no discussion shall be take place in the legislature of a state with respect to the conduct of any judge of the Supreme Court or of a High Court in the discharge of his duties under the rules of a house or houses of the state legislature. Use of unparliamentary language or unparliamentary conduct of a member is prohibited. Yes, they are exempted from jury service. Yes, they can refuse to give evidence and appear as witness in case pending in the court when the state legislature is in session. These are the individual privileges of state legislature members. So we have covered collective privileges and individual privileges. Now we'll see the articles related to state legislature at a glance. Yes, where Article 168, which deals with the constitution of legislature in the states. In states, 169, Article 169, which deals with the abolition or creation of legislative councils in states. Article 170, which deals with the composition of the legislative assemblies. Article 171 deals with the composition of the legislative councils. Article 172 deals with the duration of the state legislatures. Article 173 deals with the qualification for membership of the state legislature. And the Article 174, which deals with the sessions of the state legislature, prorogation and dissolution. Article 175, which deals with the right of governor to address and send messages to the house or houses. Yes, Article 176 deals with the special address by the governor. Article 177, which deals with the rights of ministers and advocate general as respects the houses. Then offices of the state legislature. Article 178, which deals with the speaker and deputy speaker of the legislative assembly. Article 179 deals with the vacation and resignation of and removal from the offices of speaker and deputy speaker. Yes, Article 180 deals with the power of the deputy speaker or other person to perform the duties of the office or to act as a speaker. Article 181, which deals with the speakers, the speaker or the deputy speaker not preside while a resolution for his removal from office is under consideration. Yes, Article 182 deals with the chairman and deputy chairman of the Legislative Council. Article 183 deals with the vacation and resignation of and removal from the offices of chairman and deputy chairman. Article 184, which deals with the power of deputy chairman or other person to perform the duties of the office or to act as chairman. Article 185, which describes the chairman or the deputy chairman not to preside while a resolution for his removal from office is under consideration. Article 186, which describes salaries and allowances of the speaker and deputy speaker of the chairman and deputy chairman. Yes. Article 187, which deals with the Secretariat of State Legislature. Article 188, which deals with the oath and affirmation by members. Article 189, which describes voting in houses, power of houses to act notwithstanding vacancies and quorum. Now we'll see disqualifications of members, which describes under Article 198, where vacation of seats. Article 191 deals with the disqualification for membership. Article 192, which deals with the decision on questions. As to disqualifications of members, Article 193, penalty for sitting and voting before making oath and affirmation under Article 188 or when not qualified or when disqualified. Then Article 194 under powers, privileges and immunities of state legislature and their members. Article 194, which describes powers, privileges, etc. of the House of Legislature and of the members and committee thereof. Article 195 deals with the salaries and allowances of members. The legislative procedure, Article 196, which deal with the provisions as to introduction and passing of bills, restriction on powers of Legislative Council as to bills other than money bills. Article 198, which deals with the special procedure in respect of money bills. Article 199 describes definition of money bills. Article 200, which describes assent to bills. Article 201 describes bills reserved for consideration. Yes, then Article 202 deals with the annual financial statement, that is state budget. Article 203, procedure in legislature with respect to estimates. Article 204, appropriation bills. Article 205, supplementary, additional or excess grants. Article 206, votes on account, votes of credit and exceptional grants. 207, special provisions as to financial bills. Then Article 208, rules of procedure. Yes, Article 209, which describes regulation by law of procedure in the legislature of the state in relation to financial business. Yes. Then Article 210, which describes language to be used in the legislature. Article 211, restriction on discussion in the legislature. Article 212, courts not to inquire into proceedings of the legislature. Then legislative powers of the governor, where Article 213, where power of governor to promulgate ordinances during recess of legislature. Yes. Now, after that we'll see the laws made by Parliament under Article 169 of the Constitution, where the first West Bengal Legislative Council Act 1969, which is West Bengal Legislative Council Abolition Act 1969. Under these provisions provided for the abolition of the Legislative Council of the State of West Bengal. Then Punjab Legislative Council Abolition Act 1969, which provided for the abolition of the Legislative Council of the State of Punjab. Andhra Pradesh Legislative Council Abolition Act 1985, which provided for the abolition of the Legislative Council of the State of Andhra Pradesh. Then Tamil Nadu Legislative Council Abolition Act 1986, which provided for the abolition of the Legislative Council of the State of Tamil Nadu. Yes. Then Andhra Pradesh Legislative Council Act 2005, which provided for the creation of Legislative Council for the state of Andhra Pradesh. And then Tamil Nadu Legislative Council Act 2010, which provided for the creation of the Legislative Council for the state of Tamil Nadu. Yes. So friends, that's it for the state legislature. So in today's session, we have covered presiding officers of state legislature. Yes. Where we have covered the speaker and deputy speaker for the legislative assembly and chairman and deputy chairman for the legislative council. Then speaker of assembly, powers and duties of speaker of assembly we have covered. Then deputy speaker of assembly and his powers. Then chairman of council, chairman of legislative council. Yes. Then deputy chairman of legislative council. Sessions of state legislature. Yes, where we have covered summoning, adjournment, prorogation, dissolution, quorum, voting in house, language in state legislature, rights of ministers and advocate generals we have covered. Then legislative procedure in state legislature, where we have covered ordinary bills. Yes. So the bill passes through 3 stages in the originating house: first reading, second reading and third reading. Then bill in the second house we have covered assent to the governor, Ascent of the President. Then money bills. So a money bill cannot be introduced in the Legislative Council. Yes, so money bill introduced in the Legislative Assembly only. Then we have covered position of Legislative Council. So sphere where council is equal to assembly, or sphere where council is unequal to assembly. Equal with assembly. Then we have covered privileges of state legislature. Yes. Collective privileges and individual privileges. Yes. So we have covered in last session and today's session complete state legislature, and then we have covered articles 168 to 213 related to the state legislature, and then also we have covered few acts and provisions under article 169 of the Constitution. So friends, that's it for state legislature. So see you in the next lecture with new topic in our Inspire series of crash course of Indian polity. Do not forget to join our Telegram group using this link, and also you will get eligible for 10% discount using referral code RBI Life. Yes friends, like, share and subscribe Unacademy videos and hit the bell icon for notifications about our lectures on YouTube platform. So till the time, keep studying, keep revising. Take care.